Friday afternoon. Hello, hello.
It's the best one of the day, right?
I know.
This is normally it.
Victoria Dorsana, welcome back.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been a while, and I'm excited to be back. Lots of new things to chat about.
You're one of the few two-Peters so far.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of two-Peters here, although hopefully we have a couple that have sworn they'd come back after their next project drops. Like it was and so those things are starting to come up like now. So hopefully we'll start to increase this.
And if you happen to know a tattoo artist that's very into Mongolian throat singing, you could be a third Peter.
Yeah.
A three Peter. That is somebody said, hey, the tattoo artist wants to come on. We're like, yeah, we're rebooking you.
Yeah, she just casually mentions that her tattoo artist is in Mongolian throat singing, and we're like, that sounds cool. And then when she reached out, it's like, hey, my tattoo artist heard the show. What would you think? We're like, I don't even finish that sentence. Yes, come back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen somebody do that on TikTok once, and I was highly impressed.
It might have been her tattoo artist.
It may have been, because it doesn't sound like a very common skill to have. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
no, but I mean, I think the majority of the episode was actually talked about. It was just, that was the whole concept, was like, we're going to talk about throat singing the entire time.
And then the post show was funny because we're throwing TikToks back and forth to each other. Like one guy was doing Rage Against the Machine with Mongolian throat singing. I was like, come on, like this is amazing.
Well, I'm prepared to have an influx of new TikToks around this now that we've been talking about it.
Yeah,
so
the algo is always
it's definitely listening.
So it's been about 175 episodes or so since we talked to you last.
Yeah.
So a lot of change. What have you been up to, man?
It's been a hot minute, man. I mean, like, it's still doing a lot of the same stuff, just a couple of variations. I've been really excited in the health space that like more things that you guys talk about often, and just the biooptimization space is starting to really take off and I think become a little bit more mainstream. And like with anything, when anything becomes more mainstream, you have the good players, the bad players, everybody in between. So there's some stuff that gets floated out there that's not really great, but it's been really exciting to see people be excited about health in a new light, in a different way than just like, oh, I got to go get my preventive physical and, all that stuff. So it's been fun because we've been growing, we've been hiring some more coaches and adding some different layers to what we do and blood work and all that jazz. And I've personally been doing a lot of traveling and different kind of adventure-based travel trips
that's fun.
For myself and clients too. But I always I call them adult field trips.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. I'm all into adult field trips for sure.
Yeah. So doing fun things that are active and kind of test you in new ways and all that good stuff. So if you guys are interested, I'm doing a bike ride across the state of Iowa, of all states. I don't know.
What's it called? Is that Ragnar?
It's Ragbri.
Yeah, there it is.
I did it once in 2018, and I finally convinced my husband to do it with me this year. So after pushing.
We drove across country when I moved here from California, and there was like a precursor to that, I think, in the knees. And somebody told us, they ride their bikes across the state. And I'm like, why the fuck would anybody want to ride their bike across Iowa? Turns out it's a fucking really hilly state. Like, it's not like a flat ride.
No, It's not. It's like the first time I did it, I was really surprised. Like towards the Nebraska side, you're like, oh my gosh, these are there's a lot going on.
Matt and I crashed a trivia night accidentally. And we joined a team. What were they called? There was something.
Oh yeah, I don't know. There might have been one too many bunny hugs. There
was something about a boner in there. But we're like, we'll join your team. And one of the questions was, what were the flattest states? And no one in the room knew. Like they thought we were like, it's got to be the fucking Midwest. It's called the Great Plains. And no, it's like fucking Delaware and Florida.
Yeah.
Florida I would have guessed, but Delaware totally would have evaded.
Delaware is Delaware. I mean,
I do a bike
place
ride.
Could flood.
I don't do it anymore, but I've done it several times. Bike ride from Baltimore to Rehoboth, which is in Delaware.
Okay.
And the Maryland side of that trip, which is the first part, obviously, is like straight uphill. Like, I mean, like fucking like mountainous. Like you're like, oh my God, why is, and then you hit the Delaware state line and it's almost like somebody put an iron out. They're like, we're just like, it's just basically flat for the rest of the time, all the way out to the ocean until your bike hits the water. You're like, basically don't hit a single hill.
Just coasting. Yeah, you get a good breeze and you can just go.
And you could just go. Yeah, no. But
it was the natty boners. It was
the natty bonus. There you go. Yeah.
Sorry. Very Baltimore name.
Very Baltimore name. Yeah. That's really funny. Yeah. So it is. I actually would love to. One of my like low grade bucket list items would be to ride from Baltimore to San Francisco, like my current home to my original home. And there's a million routes that have been laid out. Like I think one of the benefits of living when we do is all the Magellans of our time have already lived, done, mapped it out. You could download the GPS to your watch. Yeah. You don't have to think about any of this shit anymore. You're just like, nah, I'm just going to take this route, and I'm going to leave exactly at this day, at this time, because that'll optimize weather patterns and like and we don't have
a subreddit thread of like all the things.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I don't have to think about this shit at all. Like literally like, phone ahead. We'll have the whole hotel chain. Like here's a service. You could book your entire hotel the entire way. Yeah. I love it. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I like adventure, but I don't necessarily like to work for it all that much. So it feels
it could take a lot of planning. I mean, it like if you do not have the resources like that and people who've done it before, I mean, it takes a lot of planning nowadays with AI and everything. And again, just resources of people who've plotted those things and map my ride and all that. There's so much out there, but yeah, I mean, that's why I was like, oh, for some of these things that are outside of people's comfort zone, they might not even know where to look for some of those things, which is why I was like, yeah, let's do an adult field trip. I'll kind of do, put together the agenda and things like that and have people come along and kind of ride off my coattails.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a conversation with my son this weekend he didn't ever, I guess they don't teach this in school, but he had no idea what the Appalachian Trail was or that it went from like Georgia to Maine. What
the hell are they doing in school?
Wait, how old's your son?
17. Yes.
Oh, God.
What the hell are they doing in school?
I was like, what? You don't know about? Because like we're going out to, we have a lake house out in Western Maryland, and you go on one of the highways, you go underneath the AT, like it goes across the highway.
Yeah.
Like, there's an actual bridge that says Appalachian Trail on it. Right.
Yeah.
And I was driving, it was just he and I said, oh, look, that thing goes all the way down to, what is it, Georgia or Florida or something? It goes all the way up to Maine, right? And he goes, there's a trail that goes from Georgia to Maine? I was like, yeah, it's like maybe the most famous trail on the planet.
I feel like they made a movie with some blonde actress where she walked it herself, right?
There's a whole book about that. Yeah.
I know somebody who thru-hiked it. She did it when she was in her mid-20s and fucking said it was the best experience of her life. She
I've always wanted to do something like that, or the Pacific Crest Trail, or like...
Oh, that's another one, right?
Yeah, I've really wanted to do that. I'm like, how can I figure out a way to like, still float a living while doing this?
Disappear for like a month.
Yeah. A month. No, the AT is like a 3-month, 4-month hike. That shit's not...
And I was like, maybe I could vlog. I was like, can I get enough sponsors to vlog this and like actually be able to, pay for it? So I don't know. So yeah.
You think we're out of that stage in history yet? Can you vlog anymore? Like, are people paying for people to run around? I
think if you did it like a Substack, maybe more than a vlog, if you had enough people supporting you before you started, I'm sure you probably gained some followers.
Yeah, it's true. I've seen people, I think, document things like that. There was a guy who I think he biked all the way from somewhere in Canada all the way down into Mexico and biked for a very long time and documented it like every day, just posted a little TikTok of his journey, and he got a lot of supporters that way. So I think like traditional vlogging is like long form vlogging, not so much. People have too much to do these days. So.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. I've met a couple the other day that's like, what did they fucking call them? Some douchey thing. It drove me crazy. They're like, we're professional YouTube content contributors. It was basically like calling the janitor a custodial engineer, like it was like one of these like over glorified things. And I was like, okay, dude, like
you make videos on the YouTube.
You make video.
You're a YouTuber.
Dude. Yeah. I mean, come on, like stop it. And maybe that's just my Gen X.
Well, look, man, some of them are like really fucking wealthy and I watch them too, it's just, I don't.
Yeah, some of it's just jealousy for me, man. I wish I could be a multimillionaire making videos of the squirrel. I mean,
what did we do? We bought a $200,000 item just to destroy it, and we're going to make $25 million off of this video.
It's absolutely insane. But I am curious, like, because I know that, like, okay, so content creators usually eventually get to a point where they like productize themselves and create an item that is like their signature item, right?
Like chocolate,
Mr. Beast, and
yeah. So what would your guys' like item be?
A bunny hug.
A bunny hug.
When we said that, but let me just tell you
that was episode 200.
Yeah.
And a bad decision.
Yeah.
Gotta go back.
Episode 200, our then third partner was like, I'm going to interview you guys for the show. And it was a good idea.
It was supposed to be a highlights reel.
Yeah. And it turned into like, so he made all these questions for us. It was like a whole interview. It was actually a fun show. But one of them was like, what are your favorite drinks? And I'm a gin guy. Tom is a whiskey guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we just kind of like after the show, we were like, I wonder if there's a drink.
Well, I said we got to have some absinthe in there because it gets fucking weird.
Yeah, it gets fucking. There are 2 drinks. One of them is called a bunny hug that have all 3 of those ingredients.
Oh God, that sounds awful.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's good.
It got better towards the end of the first one, and I only had one that evening.
Yeah. And Victoria, to make this analogous to a tool, this would be like a sledgehammer to your face of drinking.
There is a tool called the foo bar, which is purely for destruction, and that's what it felt like.
But
it looks disgusting. I'm not gonna like the color it makes is like dehydrated pee. Like
it's not.
Oddly enough, it will also dehydrate you.
Yeah.
Yes, your pee might also look just
your pee will also look like that afterwards.
Oh, so yeah, it's a 1930s cocktail. Interesting.
I couldn't have been more surprised. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like,
that sounds like prohibition. That's what got it banned.
There's literally a subreddit that says this is the worst drink I've ever had. This is the worst drink in history.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, I don't agree with that. It was not
the worst thing
I've had.
So you guys that would be the thing you would mark.
I think I might have to make like
at the movie premiere. We might have to have one.
Yeah.
Right.
Would it come in like, what are those little ones that come in the orbs? Like how would
God, those will get you sick. I bought one of those once. It's pure sugar and alcohol. It's shit.
We need one of those carnival mugs that like the head flips open like a German beer stein, but it's like
you don't want to get a yard of that. You don't want to get the big plastic Mardi Gras yard of it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, that would be exactly what we need. Right. I mean, it's strong. You could probably dilute this thing. Like the drink we had probably should have been turned into 4 drinks.
When I showed it to the bartender, he was like, "Are you sure?"
I feel bad charging you for this.
He's like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, you know what? That is a good question though, because like, and this actually kind of leads into a question I was going to have for you is like the state of the union, as it were, in health right now, there's no shortage of things to sell. Right. No. Like it's like an explosion of shit you could sell, right?
Yes.
For anything under the fucking sun. We just had a woman on about magnets, right? Biomagnets, super fascinating. But then I go online and sure enough, there's a whole rabbit hole of
millions of different magnets.
Magnets for every single thing under the planet. It's just
like crystals.
Yeah.
I did almost make a butt plug reference about magnets there.
Yeah.
It felt
inappropriate.
Felt like the moment had passed. So I'm bringing it back.
Yeah. That's a timely comment.
We'd moved on to something else and just randomly yell out butt plug. People start asking questions.
Yeah. But like, when you look into it, and to your point, and this is actually one of the things that got our show started. I think we probably talked about this because you were one of the earlier
guests.
We probably definitely talked about this, but we started the show because we're like, wait a minute. Is this industry only existing to sell people shit? Because that feels like what it's all about, right? And so Tom and I have sort of gone, I don't want to say the opposite direction, but we're like, look, if we're going to sell something, it's got to be shit that we use. So now the stuff we really get behind, we stand behind it with like the fervor of 1,000 burning suns because we're like, I love this thing so fucking.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think I'm carrying 500 suns worth of fervor in me. I think you're picking up the slack there. Neurovisor, I fucking love, dude. We fucking ordered version 2. He goes, the lights are red. I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear anything else.
Yeah. Red light. Oh my God.
Stop. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
You got me.
But then you know what? He went down the rabbit hole of why it was different. And like, I looked up a bunch of the science that he threw at us just to see if, just do a little bullshit in the wind meter. And I'm like, man, this is not incorrect. Like, I mean, and then of course I went down, I run a health podcast rabbit hole version of that story. And it was multiple hours.
You said the
Neurovisor.
I feel like you guys did talk about this initially.
No, we talked about Muse with you.
Muse,
Neurovisor. Yeah. We had Garnet on the show many moons after you.
Ariel is a two-peter.
Yeah,
we should ask her to come back again too.
Yeah, she's got. I mean, and I love the Muse too. We've talked about that thing a million times.
But use them together.
The Muse, use them together. Muse is what got my then like.
I have so much shit on my head when I meditate. It's fucking weird.
It's absurd. But like my 7-year-old learned how to meditate because I was able to show her what the bird chirp. So how the fuck do you teach a 7-year-old what meditation is? Like, it's hard enough to teach adults that, like.
Totally. Yeah. Much less a kid or somebody with ADHD. So for me, I'm like, oh, bird. Got it. Cool.
Yeah, got it.
That fucks you up. The first bird you get, you're like, oh, now I'm not focused on meditating.
Nope. I'm just like, get the bird. Where's the bird?
Yeah. Where's the bird? But like, when you look into these things, it's like, how do you, and look, if I didn't buy the Muse, I would never know that was a thing. My daughter would never have used it. And like, it's not like she uses it. I mean, my kids are like, they laugh at me and all the dumb shit we do on this show, but like, they're like, they use it once or twice and it drives me crazy because my daughter can put the Muse on and drop into birds like almost instantly. It's like, I know, right? Isn't it that? I'm like, God damn it. Like, and even my son who's like ADHD to the fucking gills, like this kid could drop in. Because I don't know, they just got this. It's like once you have that muscle memory, it's kind of hard to.
Still waiting to get that muscle memory, but we'll get there.
Neurovisor, throw the Neurovisor on.
Okay, I'm gonna have the strangest search history today. Yeah.
So what was interesting about Neurovisor is like and it was weird with Muse, I go through these periods where I'm like really, really good at diving in, like 20-minute meditation, 180 birds, like going crazy. And then other days it's like you had 6. I was like, what? How did I have 6 birds? I was, like, I'm oming.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm just curious. I mean, from a woman's standpoint, there's definitely different times of the month where like, it's just focus, like from a neurotransmitter perspective is different. Like focus is different, concentration is different. So I wonder if that affects it for women at least. And then otherwise, like, I mean, caffeine consumption and timing of that and like all the things probably can impact, what you were doing right before and all of that stuff can totally affect your mental state. That's why athletes have routines, right? So it's the predictability of being able to dip into that flow state more easily.
And I think with these things, it's been interesting because it wasn't, when we started the show, it was more like, what are the silver bullets that I can buy to keep me on a rail? Now it's like, I need 30 things because today it's this, tomorrow it's probably that. Like it's a different tool for a different need, right?
Matt's saying we started the show just so we didn't feel guilty about buying a bunch of shit.
So you had a reason, right?
Yeah.
You can write it off.
Yeah, I have a tax write-off.
It's a write-off. It's a write-off.
Like, the difference, like just, I mean, not dwelling on this, but like what is interesting is learning about these things and buying, like selectively buying stuff and playing with them. Neurovisor is a fucking sledgehammer too. It pushes you down the road. Like it doesn't ask you if you want to come. It just says you're fucking coming. I don't care what you say.
I think that was the one, all the things we've done, like they're out of the box. There's a demo mode, right? 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I put the thing on.
And I was hallucinating.
7 minutes later, I go, Matt, you got to fucking buy this thing.
And like when Tom has that look in his eye, I'm like, okay, I got it.
Like I haven't been hit that hard. I was somewhere else.
When did you guys start doing that?
Probably about a year ago now.
Yeah, about a year ago now. Yeah, we've talked to Garnet quite a bit too. Yeah, I feel like we're doing a Neurovisor commercial again.
Yeah. So here's the funny thing, though. I did give it to people who don't know shit about anything like this. And this past weekend, literally not even a week ago. And I got pictures that I want to put on our site. They gave me permission to put it on. I didn't even tell Tom about this, but like 3 people all used it. And like, they all got done. They're like, where's the link to buy this thing? Like it was like instantaneous but they've never in a million years. And I tell you that, I mean, I could say this confidently. I'd bet a child on this. They would never have bought or even looked at this thing
Right.
It's too weird. Idiot. It's too out there.
You got this giant fucking iPad on your face.
I mean, I feel like
blinking.
for some, do they have like storefronts where people can go and try it out?
No, but so
like that needs to be in every mall. You're like, just come by.
I got a call with him next week in a couple of weeks. I'll drop that because Matt and I wanted to go. Like, could we do this on a big screen, surround sound theater, and just have people tripping balls?
That would be interesting.
The answer is yes, you can.
Yeah,
it just doesn't exist. Right.
Yeah. Right. There needs to be some sort of event for people to, because it sounds like a very experiential thing.
Though. But my peak alpha on the Muse, when I do an alpha based thing on Neurovisor, goes through the fucking roof. Like,
really?
I think I got into 200s. The low 200s
the birds
in a 20-minute meditation when I paired it with the Neurovisor.
And it's funny.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, do you have the original Muse or do you have the...
I've got the Athena now.
Yeah,
she came on and I was like, I bought everyone except the fucking sunglasses. And she's like, you're going to want this one. And I'm like, I want this one. Yeah. Like, I mean, there was like, I don't, and look, I'm like almost to 2,700 days in a row. So it's not incredible. Like,
it's crazy.
They're getting heavy use. And the Muse S, the one thing that they did in this one, the Muse S used to have this like metallic film. And especially because I'm bald, it was wearing off. So they sent me like 3 or 4 bands because after 3 months of heavy use, it's gone. Like, I'm getting no signal. They're like, yeah, that shouldn't happen. And now the new one is actually thread, magnetic
cloth woven in.
Yeah, it's built in.
Do you find that, have you slept in it at all or tried to sleep in it?
Yeah, I don't really track my sleep only because I know like the times I've done it, I'm pulling it off in my sleep.
I tried the same thing and I eventually like unconsciously and consciously both pulled it off.
Yeah, I don't
times I've tried it. It's just so big. It's just big to sleep in. That's the only bummer.
But when you're going through your clients, like how do you have sort of a litmus test of like, okay, what are good things to play with and introduce to these people and bring into orbit?
Yeah. And frankly, it doesn't really happen till we get to a certain point. Cause I always say like, there's a time and place to focus on it. Unless somebody's like really, that's what they're wanting to do. They really want to play in the optimization space and they love the tools. It helps them stay engaged. But for the most part, it's like, okay, well, let's hit the basics first and see how that goes and get that consistent. But usually like it's once we've gotten consistency down to like 80% when they're working on some of these other factors, like, well, be it their nutrition or sleep hygiene and consistency, I'm like, it's not going to be too worthwhile us dipping into some of these bigger tools and these investments for them until we get to that point. So usually it's just like the consistency first is the first marker. And then secondly is like the willingness to try new things. Some of these tools are going to be great for most people. And some of people like put the Muse on and they're like, I'll get this thing off my head. I can't even focus with the sensation on my, things like that. So they have to be willing and open to trying some of that stuff. But usually I'll do like an introduction with like a wearable, like a Whoop. We're big with using Whoop in particular, right? And that's a good introduction.
Whoop's a low lift.
It's a low lift. It's an easy integration. It's data we can see and coach with. We have a platform that aggregates everybody's Whoop data and it helps us make measurable or, able to make coachable decisions based on that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's like a one singular litmus test that we use. It's probably worthwhile us considering that as we expand into having more coaches, because that's something that, again, I want them to be well-resourced and to know what to recommend when and at what point. So yeah, I mean, hey, if you guys have any suggestions on what's worked for you guys and who you've recommended things to.
We've got a list, but
I got lists. Yeah, I don't have anything formalized, but I mean,
it's also where does somebody want to go? I think you were pretty savvy in saying that. Like if somebody has no interest in meditation, you're just going to hurt their ears and waste your breath.
Yeah, totally. Exactly. And I don't know. For me, it's really. I mean, like I said, I go through. I've got red light panels in my basement. I haven't used them in probably 4 or 5 months because I just haven't felt like I needed them. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just didn't, it's not that there was no reason. My infrared sauna, I go through, weeks where I'll use it 3 times a week. And then I might not use it for 6 months. I'm like, I don't know. I listen to my body probably a lot more than your average bear.
But I also feel like, Matt, if you didn't front load with all the gadgets and all the interest, I don't think, like, I feel like you learn your body while you're playing with this stuff, right? I don't feel this way, and I normally do. What did I do or not do? You know, that's that's something that I don't think a lot of people, you know, the average person, I should say, is looking at, you know.
Well, and I think that goes back to the other problem that I have is like, how do you quantify it for someone who you're not in their body, right? Like my daughter meditating is a great example. Like, I don't know if she's doing it right. I'm not that there's a right or wrong way per se, but there certainly is. Are you in coherence or are you not? Like there is that, right? Like, so like, I don't know. She's too young to articulate it. And even if she was an adult, like I said, I mean, most adults are even worse than kids at articulation, right?
Yeah.
Like, so.
Yeah.
You know, so any tool that helps me do that, I'm like all in on, because it's like, all right, I can get measurement. That's why I think it's fun. Like Ariel with Muse, Whoop, Aura Ring. These places have like practitioner versions where you can. They're like, look, keep an eye on your flock. Here's how you do it. Right?
Muse does too, man. And when we hit a critical mass.
No, that's what I said.
I'll turn that back on. Like they've got a community, and Matt, I think you're on my account. I stopped. I stopped using it, but it was kind of cool. Like, great, you have all these people meditating, and you can give them feedback. Like, hey, you're not being consistent, or hey, maybe try this one. You know.
Yeah.
And then where it goes really big, Victoria, is like if you start pairing that with, I here we are, mark it, Tom, 26 minutes. We're going to say AI for the first time. Yeah,
I already said it earlier.
Okay. We missed it.
We missed it. Sorry,
we've become inoculated to it. We're not even hearing it anymore.
But one of the things that AI, I think, does bring to the table in spades is saying, okay, I'm Victoria. I run a practice of coaches that have clients, and we can do an Aura Ring cohort, a Muse Ring cohort, a Whoop cohort. And you can keep track and give people actionable data from afar. You can do it at mass scale. You can do comparisons real easily. I mean,
and then you can pull cross data, right? That's something
which gets super compelling, right? If you're paying attention.
So super interesting. Have you guys heard of Heads Up Health?
Yeah.
So they're in a really interesting stage right now. I've been talking with them, and they're integrating more and more and more into their platform. And essentially they're building it for coaches or practitioners, where all that data across the board, from wearables, from food trackers, from Eat Sleep, from, self-input sleep data, they can even pull my chart and medical data from as early as being a baby. I uploaded it in LinkedIn. I was like, wow, you have all my baby vaccinations all the way up to this age. And then you can build different bots within that platform that are HIPAA secured, and then are referencing all that data to make a comprehensive decision on what's working, when it's working, how it's working, from a data perspective. And then there's the subjective input that you have on the user end, which is an app and a web platform where they can say, okay, today I'm feeling this way, this way, this way. And then it can start to adjust and understand patterns, right? And that's what's been really fascinating to see that come together, because I'm like, that is great, because no longer am I taking individual components and trying to create a full picture myself. There's a platform out there that's doing that and kind of spoon feeding a little bit. That's really cool too. I'm looking forward to when that becomes more fully fledged in the next few weeks to months.
It's kind of cool to see it in its early stages and know where it's going. I
signed up for the ChatGPT Health and got off that waiting list pretty quickly, I think. But that has been interesting, because it's on a completely different set of hardware from regular ChatGPT, HIPAA compliant, but it didn't ask me what my Apple Health was. It just paired it up automatically. It says, hold on, let me just check your Apple Health. And it was interesting because I had a back injury from skiing, and it said, hold on, let me check your heart rate for that day. And it went in and looked at my heart rate for that day. And I was like, I don't hate this. I'm not going to lie. This is kind of neat.
It is pretty wild. It is,
even though it doesn't I don't use the same email address with ChatGPT as I do.
So how did it know how to gain access?
That's a great fucking question.
You should ask it.
I do not know. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So I read a primer, asterisk here. I had read a primer that said they had behind the scenes done a lot of integration with Apple Health in particular. And Google Health in particular. So those connection pathways, I'm guessing, is not going to do direct match on email, because that's too specific. So there must have been some kind of Venn diagram of criteria that said this is the Matt Hampton we're talking about, not some other Matt Hampton.
It's interesting, huh?
Yeah. But it was interesting. It had a lag, which, is my big problem with ChatGPT in the first place, is that it's not contemporaneous, right? Like it's whatever the last date of their training model was. And for me, that was in probably late January, and the latest data they had was December 20th or something, or 16th. It was kind of not quite a month behind whereas, but about a month behind. And I didn't love it.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
But then I started uploading blood tests just off my phone, just taking a picture of it and just of the piece of paper and just doing it. And it stores it in the Matt Hampton corpus. So to your point, it creates a compelling story when you're like, oh, and I had put all my MRIs last year into ChatGPT, and it pulled all that into my health once I had signed up for that. So that was also, it's a good primordial view into what this could end up being, but it's fun to play with for right now.
Digital doctors.
Yeah. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world. I mean,
yeah. I think it's an interesting place. Do you guys know, there's many Dr. Mikes out there, but Dr. Mike, he's a YouTuber, but he makes a lot of great content. He's I don't know, 16 million followers, but he's one of my favorite medical professionals to follow because I'd say he has a really good head on his shoulders, and he's very open to understanding these aspects of how AI can implicate medicine and help and hurt in different capacities, and is willing to engage in really, I find it very interesting how he approaches conversations, because you don't find it very often, and myself included in this. I cannot do this really well, and I'm learning to do this, but to approach a conversation without at least showing a bias of some sort, he's very good at just allowing things to affect him that are completely different perspective without having a wall up there. So I find his conversations are really interesting. But he had somebody on his show recently, and they were talking about this and how digital doctors might become a thing pretty soon, and how they can either potentially act autonomously or be paired with a real medical professional to help aid in the diagnosis and treatment and all that stuff of patients. So it's very interesting. I'd hope for more of the latter, because I think the human touch is important, at least for me, but who knows? Doctors
I'll tell you what,
too.
If my MRI experience was any indicator of the difference between an AI doctor in the future and a regular doctor, there's no fucking way I'm going back to a human. I'm just going to lay that out.
Really? Wait, tell me more about that.
It was transformative in nature for me. I had a 10 of 10 pain threshold on a shoulder injury that I had. I was in excruciating, mind-bending pain. Could not lift my arm. Whole body was paralyzed because I was trying to avoid moving it. It was terrible, right? I go in, I get an MRI. The MRI itself hurt like a fucking son of a bitch because I had to move around.
You can't move. Yeah, you gotta be in a weird position.
It was excruciating. And this fucking idiot doctor didn't call me back for 3 weeks. After the MRI. I was
3 weeks?
You gotta be fucking kidding me. So after a week, I was like, you know what? Fuck this, man. And, look, in the meantime, I'm throwing the kitchen sink at this. I'm at my IR sauna. I'm using my beamer mat. I'm PMFing like crazy. I mean, it's ice, it's hot, it's cold, it's IR, it's red light. I mean, I'm throwing the kitchen sink at this thing, and it was working well, right? So I didn't necessarily need the doctor, but it's on principle, right? So I said,
you imagine somebody who doesn't have access to those tools and is just suffering.
Yeah, and they're just suffering that entire time. Yeah.
So I upload 375, I think, images one at a time to ChatGPT, which was fucking exhausting. I sat there watching a movie and just did it. Just drag.
Yeah.
So I finally get through the whole thing. And at the end, I said, hey, I told it what was the problem, but I didn't give it a lot of information. I was in a ski situation. I think I strained it. I've had shoulder issues in the past. I used to mountain climb and blah, 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 some stuff. It comes back because I've looked at all the images. Do you want me to comment on every single image or just the medically relevant ones? I'm like, I like where this is going. So instantaneously, first response, I'm already yes, I like this better. So then it goes through and said, okay, here's the 7 medically relevant ones. I said, oh, that's cool. And before I could even ask it, because my next question was going to be, what am I looking at? It says, would you like me to annotate these for you? I was like, yes, I would. Yes, I would very much like that. And it gives me now it's drawn boxes with little arrows. This is this and this is that. And I'm like, dude, this is the most fascinating conversation I've ever had with a doctor in my life. And it's ChatGPT. And then it goes through same thing. It's like, well, these ones you don't really need. This one shows it's fine. So let's really focus on these 2 images. And I was like, okay, let's do that. And this goes on for like 45 minutes. I'm just like, and a lot of that is me being like, what about this? What about that? I got the best answer I've ever gotten from a doctor ever. And it was exactly what she told me when she ended up calling me back.
Which was old man shoulder.
Oh yeah. Her version was, your shoulder's fine. Come in and get a cortisone shot. And I was like, hard fuck off. Like, no, not a, and look, listen, to your point, what if I didn't have that experience? What if I didn't have those tools? What if I didn't have any of those things?
Right.
Her answer sucks ass.
Yeah.
You're fine. Come get a cortisone shot. Well, how about this? If I'm fine, what the fuck do I need a cortisone shot for?
Right. Like explain could there be other options? What are the things out there that can be done? So
yeah, 3 weeks to think about it.
You had 3 weeks to think about it. Right. And this is the problem. And then this is why I'm like, look, I'm a nosy guy when it comes to my health. I think you made a comment about like the physical, I love my physical. It's like my most exciting.
Well, he's got a concierge doc too. So
yeah.
Well, yeah, you get to dive a little bit deeper, but no, I mean, even for normal people visit, I just got mine done yesterday. I was like, yay, it's free.
Yeah. Mine is unfortunately not free, but I get 7 vials of blood taken. I get a phone book of data back when I take it. It's fucking awesome. It's like my Disneyland. I'm like, this is the best day of the year. I love this day. Like, because, and then I sit there and my doctor's like, what do you want to know? I know you got 500 questions here. I'm like, honestly, I'm just going to take this to ChatGPT. I'll be completely candid with you. But since we're here, let's find out what you think. And to your point with the human versus machine, he did tell me about left ventricular hypertrophy based on a little wave pattern. He didn't, that was super subtle. He circled it for me, highlighted it, gave me the copy. I still can't fucking see what he's seeing. It was so subtle.
Yeah.
And that I don't know, but I wouldn't have uploaded my EKG to ChatGPT. I wouldn't have even had it.
Yeah. Fascinating. Yeah. That's really interesting. I mean, again, insurance is going to play a role for most people into that. Like, okay, so who orders what? Is it going to be like, AI that is able to order and vouch for certain tests, or is it going to have to be somebody that writes it off? That's
it doesn't matter. AI is going to deny it on the other end. Speaking of which, March 9th, we will be screening Suck It Up Buttercup at the Senator Theater in Baltimore. We'll also be live streaming it online.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's our plug there, Victoria. Sorry.
We are hosting
I'm compelled to do that until March 20th.
Yeah. We're hosting a documentary on medical burnout, and they talk about all this shit about how fucked up doctors
hate it too. It's not doctor's fault here.
No, it's not at all. And I hate that they get scapegoated. I mean, again, like my original path was to go become a doctor and go to medical school. And then like I took a hard left after I saw how miserable they were, the moral injury that they were suffering because they could not practice medicine in the way that things are structured and the way that the medical system is structured at the hand of a lot of PBMs and insurance companies, unfortunately. Sure. So
we just had one of the doctors that was in the movie on the show last week.
Okay.
And she's talking about, she goes like, the insurance company literally tells me what operations I have to do.
And that's even crazy. That should be illegal.
It should be totally fucking illegal. Like
they're not allowed to like practice medicine as an insurance company, but if they use the right language.
Did I threaten to kill an entire insurance company? I think I might have. I might have because Citizens United makes a corporation only one person. So I mean, if you only kill one person, it's kind of like clipping a toenail or something. It's not really.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, it is an interesting thing. We actually never got him on the show. I don't know what happened, but we met a guy who does AI based primary care, right?
Okay.
And it was out diagnosing humans by like 80%, 85%.
Insanity.
Ludicrous number. On the face, just on the diagnostic face alone, increase your chances of accuracy by 85%. Yes, please.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at the percentage of iatrogenic issues then goes down by 80% theoretically too.
Yeah, right.
That's wild.
It is wild. And it wasn't just that. I mean, like the other part of that is, the reason why that Reddit study showed that AI
that still blows my mind because that was in the infancy of
that
AI.
was like 3 years ago, like literally in the very beginning. And it was out diagnosing, same thing, 80, 85%, something ridiculous. But it was like, an even higher number on the empathy scale.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's even crazier.
Well, it's not.
Well,
I mean,
it's language models is what we're looking at. I can sound empathetic.
Yeah. Well, no, yes. And though my MRI situation, I would rank that higher in empathy too, because it had a conversation with me, which is something this doctor was not willing or able to do.
100%. Yeah. And that is interesting though. I mean, how I'd like to think that I don't know, like that I would be able to be like empathetically manipulated by an AI. But at the same point, like you were saying, just the fact of having a conversation can make you feel like heard, even if, and just like well cared for, even if it is something that's not wholly sentient.
Sure. Well, I mean,
which some people would argue it is, but yeah.
No, I don't. It's a giant Excel spreadsheet.
I've asked it that. I said, you just said one of the most profound things I've heard. And it said, no. It really quickly was like, no, don't go there, man. Like we've seen people hurt themselves because they started believing I was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
I was like, all right, no, I'm not. I'm just saying, how the fuck did you do that? And then it ran through this very mechanical, here's how I got to that. And I went, okay, cool. But that's
like
weird.
How they pull the rabbit out of the hat. You're like, this is way more boring than I thought.
Yeah. That's true.
But I almost felt like, I think like you could use it to fake yourself into sounding a certain way. Like this could teach me how to process this logically, to the point where I could tell somebody anything and it would get the desired reaction I wanted, I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. The new version of How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Pretty much. That book was ridiculously sexist, by the way. It was written in like the 20s, and they're like, you need a good woman at home.
Yeah.
Get a mistress over here. What? And go get hammered with your buddies all the time.
Yeah. You're like,
what?
They were probably drinking bunny hugs, honestly.
They probably were.
I mean, that timeline lines up.
Mm-hmm.
So, Victoria, when you're playing with people now, like, do you see people sort of more interested in these sort of deeper conversations? Is this like
1,000%.
expanding? Yeah.
1,000%. Especially since we work with a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs. They're very like savvy about taking control of their own realm of what is within their control, which health falls in that category. So like, they're wanting to engage in utilizing AI. They're wanting to engage in these, extraneous tools and things like that for sure. I also think, are you guys familiar with Nobelitis or Nobel Prize syndrome?
No, but I love the sound of this.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. And if you go down this is a good rabbit hole to go down.
Love it.
So many of the science-based Nobel Prize winners have throughout history kind of gone a little cuckoo after winning the Nobel Prize. And a lot of it is said to be because of this theory called Nobelitis, meaning that they are so smart and so lauded in this one particular area of science and, chemistry, physics, whatever, medicine, that when they win, they almost feel like they can do no wrong. Like their logic is so faultless that it can transfer laterally to any area of thinking, so that the first thing that comes about, like there was one guy, I can't remember which one it was, but like believed in radioactive talking raccoons, that they were real because he had like, I don't know, some dream. And he's like, I couldn't be dreaming. I wouldn't have ever fallen asleep during the night. They just don't check their own biases and they can't make a fault essentially. So they start going down these crazy rabbit holes and start to believe things like eugenics and then things that are just like disproven across the board. Yeah, it gets really wild. So if you Google this, it's pretty crazy. But I find that
you know what I'm doing this evening? I want to know about these raccoons because now I 100% believe.
I'm pretty sure it's the guy who invented. He was something in with DNA. Is it the?
Wait, was the PCR Watson and Crick? Are you talking about them?
No. You're right. It's the polymerase chain reaction. It's
he was super cool for a minute because after he did that, he just fucking was surfing and dropping acid every day. He fucked off.
Raccoons.
He's like,
they're the raccoons.
I mean, that seems like a pretty linear path to me. Yeah,
convinced that they were real, but it creates this pipeline, and I find. Sometimes because business owners, and this is again, including myself, is that, you've built this thing, you've been able to finagle all these multiple components to make it succeed and make it fly, that you think like there's no way that your logic could, fault you. And that like there's a lot of pseudoscience and BS out there, right? So like,
oh my God.
In this space, I find that I'm oftentimes being like, I see where you can get from point A to point B of wanting to try this particular thing, but this is just a lot of pseudoscience BS. Like, it's things that sound good and that to somebody who's not actively involved in the scientific space is going to fall for. But like, let's kind of pull back from that. So there is a lot of engagement, back to your original question, but sometimes I have to be like, let's also learn some of this like pseudoscience BS detector stuff. Also, while holding space for if people still want to dive into that, because the placebo effect is real, and there's some stuff that we just don't know and can't prove sometimes. Like, go for it. If you have the resources, fine.
We have that conversation like once a week now. Yeah.
It's real, and it's valid. Like, I want to make sure to hold space for that too, because I find sometimes like evidence-based coaches and content creators can be so caught in that these are the things that work and this is the thing that science backs, and it's like, that's great, but there are people who are going to be like, I'm okay spending this money out here, and I'm okay trying this out, and again, placebo effect is real, and even make a measurable difference.
Applies value in that person's head, it does have value then,
But I look at these things like I'm very aware that a lot of the stuff I do is probably at least partially rooted in placebo, right? Like I generally try to stay healthy, but like there's a lot of stuff that I think falls into this. But A, who cares? Like, if it's working, like, great. But B, the fact that I'm doing it brings a level of rigor to my life that actually has other effects that are more material, right? Like, if I'm doing this thing every morning at 8:00, it means I'm probably not blowing lines of cocaine, or what I mean? Like, it's probably, there's other things I'm not doing. I'm not out,
Glad to hear the muse has kept you away from your cocaine
my
habit.
Cocaine habit has definitely been kept at bay. Yeah. No, but like, I mean, people look at, I'm the worst at this, just like everybody else. Like, when I want to be lazy, there is like no limit to how lazy I can be. Like, I'll throw on 10 pounds without even blinking an eye and not give a shit about it. And then I'll be like, now I give a shit. Now I need to go and back this out. And I'll, and then now it's like every day, 8:01, I do this, 8:03, I do this, 8:10, I do this. I don't know. I think it's, if you've got the time and the money and it's not going to kill you, like, I feel like this is a lot of fun to play with.
There's a phrase for that. Like, when you engage in one healthy behavior, even if it's not necessarily like the most effective behavior, like that trickle down effect, I forget what the phrase is, but that's a real thing too. Is like, when you start that principle of like just the mentality of, I'm doing this for my health, the trickle down effect that creates, and the other decisions that makes, and how you structure your day and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, that stuff is important. So I am grateful for this era where there's just more accessibility to that information, and people are more ready to have that conversation about like, hey, is this something I should try? Is this something that's good for me? And then we can open up the door to having that conversation and look at, okay, what is out there? Who do I know that knows more about this? Like, you guys being, the Neurovisor, like, CEOs essentially. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there like that, like Jason Stella knowing so much about the peptides and all
Jason, we're going to get him on the show. He's been a pleasure to talk to, and thanks for making that connection. But yeah, I mean, guys like that are coming out of the woodwork now, not just with peptides, but there is a lot of that. Peptides are everywhere.
Peptides are hot right now. It's another fad for a minute, and then we'll find something else to distract us.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That being said, I have like 3 vials sitting in front of me right now.
Yeah, of random shit. Yeah. You're obviously a health-centric person, but I kind of put you not more maybe, but definitely decidedly in the business category as well. Like, you're a businesswoman, right? Like, you're running a business, you're growing a business. When you're in that flow and not in the client flow, like, are there things that what are your go-tos? Like, do you have a go-to regimen, like a thing that you swear by up and down?
No. So similar to you guys, I mean, I think there's different phases of things I've leaned into at different times. I was really big into utilizing red light therapy for different durations in the winter, especially. I was just finding like that felt really good for my body, like felt really good for my joints, really got me like just feeling good. I think the Muse was a really great tool for a very cognitively heavy period I had of like business operations stuff that I had. And I just needed to get my head into a good headspace and just ready to think more clearly. So I don't know, it's oscillated. I don't know if there's like a holy grail of like a device or a thing that's really been the thing that's made that big of a difference. But like, I will say this. So this isn't necessarily like a gadget per se, but one of the biggest things for me as a business owner, when I'm like, sleep is so important for me. I also have ADHD. So if I'm sleep deprived, and then it's a recipe for disaster. For me. It's just like,
I don't believe there's a business owner that isn't ADHD.
Oh God. Well, I think, I mean, it's part of what keeps us active and,
No, you just go get a 9 to 5er if you're not ADHD.
No non-ADHD people would even think to start a business because it's crazy.
like there's times like things are going great sometimes and I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? What the fuck did I build this for?
It's so true. But but the sleep, so I did this program called the Sleep Reset. It's basically like taking home a sleep lab with you, but it's a lot of, what do they call it? CBTI, so cognitive behavioral training for insomnia. And it gives you a CBTI type, whether you're an anxious sleeper, different things like that. And it forces you to do a program of sleep restriction, essentially. And I'd say that was the biggest game-changing thing for me to help me like push through larger periods of like just business stuff as it's growing, to be able to get really good sleep. But it did suck for about 6 to 8 weeks, restricting my sleep window to like 5 hours.
Oh my God.
5.5 hours. Yeah.
Oof.
So
what does this thing make you so fucking tired you can't wait to sleep? Like, how is that? Like, I mean,
you're just starving yourself. First nap is amazing.
Yeah.
So it basically increases your physiological sleep drive so you can reset your circadian rhythm. Like you're basically just like sleep depriving, and you're forcing your body to get more efficient at sleeping to really fit in more REM and deep sleep cycles in a smaller window. And then you slowly and strategically expand that window until you get to a point where your sleep efficiency starts to take a downturn. And then you're like, this is the window we're sticking with. This is where we're at. Yeah. That made such a big difference because prior to that, I was having to use like THC every night to get to sleep, to just like wind down and get my body to settle, to knowing that I'm like, okay, I got a big day tomorrow, I got to do all this stuff. And it was just not great for me to rely on that all the time. I don't like to feel like I have to rely on something like that. So I want to be able to do it for fun and, have my bunny hug along the side of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy my evening.
Please. The thujone in the absinthe bonds to the same receptor sites as the cannabis. So it'll get you fucked up more.
Yeah, more,
even more. Yeah, it's
mistress.
Wormwood is not even in the same species, but it does bind to the same receptors.
That's interesting. So I'd say that's the biggest thing for me, was like just doing a really good sleep cleanup, and that it's not like super gadgety or wild, but being able to pair that with my Whoop and my Muse to get me through those like sleep restricted nights was helpful. But I'd say that was the biggest thing.
When did you start seeing, so you had to go through the restriction first, and then as you're adding back in hours, I'm assuming you're using that data from those devices to then find that perfect window?
Correct. Yeah.
6 to 8 weeks, man.
Yeah, it was tough. I'm not going to lie. Like I was very cranky, and I let everybody know. I was like, this is what I'm doing. I'm a little off.
I need somebody driving me around then. I wouldn't even drive.
Yeah. It was
rough.
And then like to force yourself to stay up till a certain point. Because again, they're like, okay, well, you set a consistent wake window, but like I had to kind of stay up until like around midnight or so. And I was just like walking circles, just trying to stay awake for a bit. So it was tough, but it was
take a nap after this fucking show.
My sleep is the worst, is my worst trait. Like my Achilles heel is my sleep. I also have a wakeful mind. I also use THC to try to stop that. But the reality is just like everything else, your body's really good at working through barriers. So like I'm like, you're overactive mind here. Let's take a couple bong hits. And then after a while, my body's like, yeah, so we know that's coming. We're going to just ignore that. We're going to just jump right over that, So, I this is definitely the last, my Everest is definitely.
Yeah. Well, I highly recommend checking out the sleep reset. It was well worth its time. You just have to get through. And not everybody's restriction is going to have to be that bad. Like your recommendation might not be like as distinct as mine was, but I did think it was like super helpful. And that's something I recommend to a lot of my clients who have sleep issues. And
right.
That in itself can fix so many different things.
I mean, if you look at any of the online influencer biohacker guys, sleep is like top 1, 2, 3. It's like, it's never, I mean,
are you guys 8 sleepers?
No, I mean, you say I had to stay up till midnight. I'm like, I was up till 1 last night.
Yeah,
well, I mean, like
Matt texts me at times. I'm like, how are you not dead?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean midnight? I can't even fucking read at midnight.
No, I mean like 8 sleep is in like the tech.
No, the bed.
The bed.
No.
Okay.
We
vehemently no. Why?
No,
I'm not anti it. I'm just not buying a new bed.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and
chili pad?
I bought one of those, what is it, the sleep number beds at the lake. And it's like and that was mostly just because it had a heating and cooling component. It's like actually works off a delta in the room. So it's not technically heating, it's changing the ambient, taking
to get you down a couple degrees
and moving it up or down 2 degrees Celsius. It's like very, very minor, but enough. Like summertime, it feels refreshing. Anyway, it's got this sleep built into the app. And I also have my Ring, and I've had Muse, I've had all these other things. And I started to realize, just like anything else, like, I had one of those biometric scales, right, that does the impedance testing through your feet and everything. And I said, listen, when I do this weight loss thing with one of the guests that were on our show, like, I'm like, I have to use just this scale. Because when you start looking at different data from different devices, same data from different devices,
you don't have the
it's
consistency.
all over the fucking place, right? And so like that bed and my Aura Ring disagree on a lot of different things. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, well, which one's right? Is Aura better? Then God, don't ever ask that question on the internet, because then you're down the amount of passion behind who has the best HRV scores on the internet is fucking fierce.
Dr. Cody Hall, who does all the brain tech, and Ariel introduced us to him. We got to get him on the show. He ran into the same thing. So he was wearing the Whoop, he was wearing the Aura Ring, and he was looking at his brainwaves through Vilite, Vilite and Muse. And he's like, I'm getting different scores on all of these. And what he found,
it's like a $2,500 toy.
Yeah, it's not a cheap toy. He probably got it for free because he's putting those videos up with but still, I mean, he's a fucking neuroscientist. He's not, making shit up.
Yeah. Yeah. There's another guy on YouTube that's the quantified scientist that does a lot of different data pulls and stuff like that too. But yeah, I mean, like there's a few that are in like the top end range of like accuracy that kind of all agree with each other. And there's some that tend to hit the bottom ranks. But yeah, I don't know too much about how 8 sleep compares to that or sleep number or anything like that. But
yeah, well, my point is like the reason I haven't had enough time to dedicate to the rabbit hole that I'm going to need to go down to explore that, because I don't want, these are expensive beds. I don't want to just throw money out the window.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't buy that bed for that reason, but I don't use that feature because of that reason. Like, I'm like, you know what? This feature is conflicting at best, and wrong at worst. Like, I don't know. But there's a lot of these, like, I mean, the measurements from like Aura and Apple are just different. Like they're not, and asking people which one is more right is like asking, does God exist? It's like, you just get an endless supply of opinion.
They all use different kind of calculations. And
even for the same data.
Yeah, even for the same thing. So like basically, look, I've got a knockoff Aura Ring now because I was doing a client project with it, and I'm just basically wearing it until it dies. This is the third one out of 3, so this is the last one I have, and then it goes away. When it dies, I'll just go back to Aura probably, because at least it works. These not so much, but like I've been using this data for 2 years, so I know relative to itself if I had a good night's sleep or not.
Right. Yeah.
Like I don't know if I can't compare to your Aura because I don't know, our measurements aren't the same. Right.
Right. Yeah.
And the sleep scores, God help you. Those things are calculated through whatever proprietary voodoo magic they want to calculate it.
Just like Whoop has like the Whoop age And another app has like I just tried this other app that somebody was like, hey, test this out, maybe make a YouTube review on it. It pulls like your Whoop data and all the different data and gives you a biological age. It said I was 13 and a half years old. And I was like,
awesome.
And you're like, I like to think I'm pretty healthy, but yeah, I call bullshit on
puberty.
This.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going back to that. That was fun. We should do that again. Yeah, no.
Too bad you can't throw that into AI and say, how did they get to this number? I like that would be kind of cool to be like, this is why I'm saying you're this young.
Yeah, that would be interesting to be able to have that logic.
And then you look at Brian Johnson and he's gauging the age of each ear individually and each eye individually and each lip like he's down that rabbit hole real deep. And I'm like sitting there going like, I really would love to, honestly, if somebody said you could interview Brian on the show, but you could only ask him one question, I would ask him about that. Like, I'm like, all the random shit you're doing, talk to me about aging organs. Like, I want to know more about how that calculation plays
and
out.
Which organ ages the fastest typically.
And he has all that on his site. It's even that rabbit hole's even too deep for me because it can get real.
Oh, that's got to have genetic components and exposure components.
It just goes on.
So many different conflating factors. Yeah.
It's so many. And honestly, not related, but related. There was a study recently about how many people stop using AI at what point. And one of the things that they found out was almost everybody stops using AI when it looks good, like no other metric. It looks good. It looks like the website they wanted. It looks like the answer they wanted. It looks like the whatever.
Confirming their own biases.
Even if 2 more iterations would have gotten them a better answer, they stop when it looks good enough. So like this critical thinking component is evaporating is what that tells me. But where that's weird in health is like Brian Johnson, people are like, he's crazy because they look at all the shit he's doing. And I'm like, well, he might be also crazy, but like, how's he calculating these things? Because I am curious. What if he's not crazy? What if this is real? And he is, telling me how old his left ear is compared to his right ear. I don't know.
Yeah.
That could be useful information. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, are we talking about like just the ear and its hearing abilities, the skin on the ear?
Yeah.
You're a trucker, the sun exposure on one side of your face is different from the other side of your face. And that factors into aging. So.
And I love all those questions because when you start asking them, people are like gloss over. They're like, oh my God, there's too many things that I'd have to ask to even.
Well, but I think that puts people at the level like, or it's what separates the curious from the non-curious, like, oh, you said that sounds good. I'm good. And then it's like, but what about this little bit? Like, I'm still trying to get somebody that's a breatharian for the show. Those are the people that like live on the sunlight. Right.
Yeah.
And I saw a doc, popping up in my algorithm, and he's showing the video of this guy who's staring at the sun every day. And by the end of the first fucking year, he's like, see this here? Those cells on his face, that's skin cancer coming. He's like, this motherfucker is thinking he's going to live forever. And he's burning the shit out of his face every morning by staring at the sun. Yeah. And you're like, oh, yeah. How's his vision, too? Like, his vision is actually better. That's fucking weird. But put some sunblock on or something. I don't know, like.
Well, that's the thing I think sometimes with like a lot of these like extremists on some angles, like people see the thing on social media, on YouTube, whatever. They see the thing, they're like, oh, cool. But like, okay, find that person in like 5 years. I guarantee they're probably not going to, and they're not going to talk about their downfall. I mean, hopefully the good ones will, but like most people are not going to be like, this diet fucked me up. I now have colon cancer because I didn't get enough fiber or, like they're not going to come out and say that. You're just going to hear like the top of their story. And then anything else after that, you don't hear. And I think that's super dangerous, but
we could ask the Liver King. No, we can't. He's in jail.
Yeah. Yeah, fair. Exactly.
That one was hysterical to me because people are like, I didn't know he was on steroids. I'm like,
you're like,
the fuck, dude, the fuck. Yeah. Humans don't look like that without that.
Yeah.
Confirmation bias, right? Like they didn't want to believe that because they wanted to think that, oh, I can get like that if I just do X, Y, and Z normally, you know. And
but I take that all the way back to the cigarettes in the 50s. Like 4 out of 5 doctors recommend Camel Lights. I'm like, nobody ever who's ever had a cigarette in their entire life has ever thought for even 1 second that it's healthy. Never once. Not for a moment.
You might want to. Do you guys remember Dr. Stephen Gundry?
Yeah. He's still around. He's still around. He is one of those people who questions openly if cigarettes are healthy because he's like, the blue zones, people in the blue zones smoke cigarettes. I'm like, come on, man. Think a little bit more. Like,
not
think
a single human has ever
that.
thought that was healthy, ever.
You know what I found hysterical? I came across this tweet once where it said, I'm a dentist and nobody has ever asked my motherfucking opinion about which toothpaste is the best. It's like, I don't know where they're getting these 5 people.
Which 5 are you talking about?
Which 5 dentists are you asking?
Yeah, that's really funny. Yeah.
That's funny.
So, Victoria, I could talk to you about this all day.
Yeah, this has been fun.
But we're going to have to eventually shut this down because
the algorithm.
Yeah, the algorithm.
It's nap time for Tom.
Yeah,
Tom, if I don't get my mid-afternoon nap.
Yeah. So listen, let's do the commercial, man. What are you up to these days? Where do we want to send people to check you out? Like, what are you up to?
Yeah, I mean, primarily as much as we've been making fun of content creators and YouTubers.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, come check out my YouTube channel.
Check out my YouTube channel. Yeah.
It's just my name, Victoria Dorsano. Other than that, we have a couple of new cool things going on. We have a Peru trip we're offering for health-minded folks that really want to like just challenge themselves in different ways, be around like-minded people who value like active vacationing and adventurous vacationing. That's in August of 2026 this year. So that's one thing. Can find on my site at bevictoriascoaching.com.
Are we taking fistfuls of ayahuasca on this trip, or is this hiking Machu Picchu?
Day 1.
Yeah,
no, it's hiking in Machu Picchu.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Good clarification based on your audience.
Well, I'm just curious because talk about peptides. Everyone who's not doing peptides is doing an ayahuasca journey somewhere.
Yeah. No, this is unfortunately neither.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But maybe a future
we should combine the two.
2027.
We should combine the two. We will hike Machu Picchu while on ayahuasca.
While you're tripping balls, we're going to put in.
Yeah.
If your joints are hurting afterwards, we got some peptides.
Yeah, then we got some peptides.
So, yeah.
Or maybe we could import some bunny hugs down there and just make the whole thing go away completely.
This sounds like Fire Festival in some terrible way.
That's how it would all end up, I think.
But that's pretty much most of what we got going on right now. And just trying to get people along for that journey of the trip and encouraging people to do these field trips together.
You know what? I would be remiss if I didn't say, aside from thank you for coming back on. It was awesome to catch up. But like one of the reasons I was so excited to catch up with you again is that after all this time that we haven't talked to you, the people that are really dialed in, and I think the people we really gravitate towards, the people that are just like, look, here's what we're doing. It's consistent. We're growing with the times, but we're not going overboard. Like it's just, and that's kind of the secret that nobody's saying. Like Tom has made fun of it all the time. He's like, my clinic wouldn't exist if people took a walk in the cold, got some sunlight on their skin.
You know, acknowledge that humans are not, they're too far removed from nature and start doing natural things. I mean, we had somebody on that was a raw, he's been raw diet for 16 years. And it was the first time I didn't feel like I wanted to punch somebody that was like that, right? You know, because he was just like, look, this has been working for me for 16 years. And I literally tried it because I was like, maybe I can feel better.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what's the worst that can happen? If it doesn't work, I'll stop. And then he said his B12 was low. And I said, well, where are you getting a vegan form of B12? He goes, I don't. He's like, I needed it in my diet. This is not good. You know, we can make changes based on what we need.
Yeah.
And he was just, and for 66, the motherfucker looked real good.
Dude, Victoria, he looks younger than I am. And I'm like, he's 66. I was like, no fucking way. Are you serious? Like, you look amazing.
Wow.
You know, and some of the things he said may not be, let's say, scientifically accurate, but it works for him, and he wasn't beating people up. He wasn't preaching a gospel. He was just like, look, I've been doing this for 16 years. I'm taking care of myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even the stuff that and Tom, I don't know exactly which parts you were talking about, but like I was perplexitying a couple things he was saying because I'm like, this feels a little off. He was less wrong than I thought he was.
When he was talking about animal physiology, he was right on all that stuff.
Yeah.
Where I would say in this regard, we're a different creature, right? Yes, we are omnivores. Yeah. I would argue that, we probably all eat a little bit too much.
Yeah. Is it the argument of like, horses are strong and they just eat like grass?
No, it was more like structure, the teeth and drinking water. We use our lips, not our tongue. And then intestinal length.
Okay.
Which all checked out. I mean, but I guess where Tom, I think you were going was he wasn't like using these things as a reason why we're wrong. He was just saying, here are a couple things that support what I think about this, and it was just left at that. It wasn't.
I appreciate the nuance in the conversation because there's so many absolutists and people who are just like, if you're not doing this, then your health is in the trash or you're doing it wrong. And it's like at the end of the day, we all have different things that we value, lifestyles that we have, personal health histories that need to be taken into consideration. And that's an important conversation. So I appreciate that he shared it in that way that didn't immediately put you guys in like the wrong bucket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, even he was like, my wife doesn't do this. She cooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I make my own food, I'm not upset if somebody doesn't cater to me at a party,
That's great.
Yeah. Okay, great. You're doing it the right way.
More of that in the health space.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think that it is really more about consistency. So what I again, back to you for this is that, you just keep doing what you're doing, you evolve, but it's like, look, don't smoke cigarettes, cut back on the cocaine and eat some more vegetables. And, this might be.
Where are we on the coca leaf chewing?
How did you know my new book title?
Yeah, exactly. Right. That could be a good book title. The key to health, ease up on the cocaine,
maybe back off the crack pipe.
Maybe back off. Yeah. But I look forward to following along with you. I love it. I love that you're helping people. So, thanks again for coming back.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on again.
Thank you, Victoria.
I'm officially a part of the 2-time club. So
we're going to get a jacket like they do on SNL.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I love it.
All right, guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy. We'll talk to you later.
Be subversive, irreverent.
Health is wealth, but you knew that.
Everybody knows that.
But so is following us on social media at Irreverent Health. And check out our website for more exclusive content at irreverenthealth.com.
Oh, I like this.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Irreverent Health.